Hey everyone, my name is Leila and today I'm going to show you 20 gourmand fragrances. I gathered today all sweet, yummy, warming up, mouth-watering fragrances that I have in my collection. I included coffee, caramel, milk, vanilla, nuts, honey, maple syrup, spices, everything sweet, gourmand, yummy. Today you will see fragrances from the designers brand, from niche brands, from budget designer brands, as well as men and women. So I tried to cover everyone's interests today. And as always, I want to start with the classics, and this time it's literally classics because it's called Classique, and this is a fragrance by Jean-Paul Gaultier. This one is Classique Essence de Parfum, so it is more concentrated, I would say, and the gourmand version of the original Classique. This one has the note of whipped cream, which is very prominent, and I would say it's the main note in this fragrance. It is supported by white flowers, and together this is very warming up, feminine and very delicious type of fragrance, because this whipped cream, again, it's very prominent in it. And I love this fragrance, especially on my skin, because I don't know, it works really well with my skin chemistry, and it projects and it lasts. This is the type of fragrance that lasts and lasts, like the performance wise it's very good. So I highly recommend you to try not the Classique version, but Classique Essence de Parfum. If you can find it still online, I think you can still find it. I'm not sure about the offline stores. I don't know, maybe it was discontinued already. However, online you can still find it easily for a decent price. So the next one is from Ukrainian brand, and it's called Neglige. I love this brand. I have many fragrances from this brand, and this one is called Hot Sweet Vanilla, and it is really a hot, sweet, very yummy vanilla. It's a bit like bonbon type of vanilla, and it's a bit candyish, caramelized type of vanilla, and it has some tartness in the start. It has some childish vibes at the same time. It is so uplifting type of fragrance and warming up, ideal fragrance for fall, for such a bleak, dark and depressive weather. So amazing quality. You can definitely feel there that the vanilla there is natural, because there are lots and lots of natural ingredients in this fragrance. So amazing quality for an affordable, I think, price for this quality. You better check their website. This is not an ad, not at all. I just want to let you know that there is such a brand. However, I don't know if they deliver worldwide. You will need to check it. Next fragrance is from budget brand. It's called Mercedes, and this one is Mercedes-Benz Black Club, I believe. It looks like this. So I would say this is a hidden gem. I didn't like the packaging, and I would never ever pay attention to this fragrance if I didn't see it in someone's review, and I heard lots of good things about this fragrance, and I tested it. I tested it in Berberanza here in Dubai. It was so good, like it was so pleasant that I couldn't take off my nose from my hand, because I don't have this type of vanilla in my collection, and this is like a pure, very gourmand, very yummy, warming up, very pleasant and natural smelling type of vanilla that I have. And it's mixed with ambroxan. It has a little bit of incense, but it's not prominent here. It has some labdanum, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like ambery, sweet vanilla, very pleasant. And this one is like considered to be a men's fragrance, and my husband wears it a lot, my son wears it a lot. However, I also like it and I wear it with a great pleasure, and I like those whiffs that come from my husband when I smell him, because this fragrance is very long lasting and it has a sillage, but at the same time it's not heavy. Like, it's not heavy, thick type of fragrance. It's quite airy, I would say, but at the same time very it has a diffusion. Like, you can smell the sillage, especially I can smell it from my husband even when he wears it during the hot weather, like 30 plus. I can still smell it from him and I love it. In the beginning, when this fragrance came, it wasn't that long lasting, and I couldn't believe that it can become so long lasting and it can have such a long trail. So I highly recommend you to try this one, even though if you don't like the bottle, the juice is amazing. The next fragrance is from Turkish niche brand, and this is Nishane, and the fragrance is called Zenne. I love this red matte bottle. It's so beautiful, and this fragrance is fruity sweet. Like, I would say it's fruity gourmand. It reminded me, when I first tried it, it reminded me a lot of 100 Silent Ways. I would say they have something similar. I would call them cousins. However, this one is not that sickly sweet that 100 Silent Ways is for me, because I had 100 Silent Ways and I gifted it to my sister, because the DNA for me of that fragrance is very similar to the DNA of Black Opium by Yves Saint Laurent, and it's not my cup of tea. Definitely, it's too sweet. I cannot feel anything else behind that ethyl maltol sweetness. But here, because it's fruity and it has a rhubarb note, I think this is why the fragrance has a red bottle. You can smell this rhubarb through the whole fragrance, and it gives a bit of tartness to this fragrance. It's not that linear like the 100 Silent Ways for me. Probably in my climate, 100 Silent Ways is not a good one. But again, this one for the hot climate, I would say it's more suitable for the high humidity and high temperatures, and I love it. I just loved it because I like this. I like this fruity accord here, which is very prominent. I like the rhubarb note in general. I'm a big fan of rhubarb note, and this one is also a very loud rhubarb type of fragrance. Amazing quality, long lasting, very nice and beautiful sillage. I personally was expecting more performance from this fragrance. I have, I think, the newest batch. I haven't checked the batch, by the way, but I assume this is the new batch because I remember people complained even about how loud this is, how monstrous is the performance of this fragrance. Believe me, this one in a new batch is not that loud. It's quite polite, I would say. I don't feel any sillages, like long trails, so you can easily wear it even to the office. From my point of view, it's completely innocent type of fragrance. I think in my batch, I don't know, maybe batches can differ, but this one is definitely a very acceptable, nice. It's quite long lasting, especially on clothes, but it smells, I think it doesn't have that long projection. It's closer to the skin. And another fragrance that has rhubarb note, and I love it. It's from Ferragamo, and this is Amo. First of all, I love the bottle. It is so well made and the quality of glass is so good, and the fragrance, it has so many yummy, very pleasant, uplifting notes. It has rhubarb, it has Campari note, it's very prominent, it has tonka beans, it has vanilla, and all together it's like, I don't know, it's like you're partying somewhere, not on the beach, because I don't think this Campari gives me any beach tour type of vibes, because I would consider this fragrance, because it's so sweet and yummy. It has a lot of citrusy notes, which reminds me of the popsicle. Yes, from one side it can be considered as a summer fragrances, but for me altogether it smells like fall. it would be perfect for fall, I think. Amazing quality, I would say. Being a designer in such a budget fragrance, I think it has a top-notch quality. I purchased this not blindly. I tested it before in the Debenhams, again together with the Black Club by Mercedes-Benz, and these two fragrances were the winners among all other even more expensive designer fragrances. So I would say the quality-wise, this one is perfect. It doesn't have any cheap synthetic notes, so highly recommend. It has a good longevity, good projection, everything is good, and it definitely has lots of vanilla, because you see my the color of juice became darker already, became brown. So very nice one, highly recommend. Another one from Ferragamo, and this one is a men's one, and this is also Salvatore Ferragamo. This one is Uomo. I purchased this also online, however I tested it in Debenhams again. And this one, it has, first of all, this is a men's fragrance, it's considered as a man, but I can definitely wear it myself. Let's say my husband likes it, and he wears it. You see, it's already not full. My son also likes this fragrance, and it has the vibes of coffee. It doesn't have coffee in the notes, but I can smell some latte here, definitely. It has some milky notes, it has some coffee notes. It's very warm. It has lots of tonka beans and lots of vanilla. However, I would say this fragrance is more synthetic comparing with the Ferragamo Amo. Yes, it has some synthetic notes in the start. However, in the heart, it is very pleasant, very pleasant, like latte type of fragrance. Very budget one, long lasting, has a very good performance, a very good sillage. I can smell it from my husband and from my son when they use it, so I highly recommend you this one. Next fragrance is from L'Artisan Parfumeur, and this one is Deliria, the fragrance that I love. Just love it, because this is an amazing creation of Bertrand de Chauffour, and for me these are the caramelized sweet juicy apples that you eat somewhere outside when the weather is really cold and the temperature is below zero, like the air is frozen, and you are eating this dessert type of caramelized sweet, crunchy outside and very juicy inside type of red apple. It's very sweet. It's what I called intelligent gourmand type of fragrance, because the notes of metal that I smell, like a frozen air, like a frosty air, is something that makes this fragrance on the borderline with not edible, but at the same time, for me, this is very sweet and very juicy and mouth-watering type of fragrance. That's why I highly recommend if you can try and then purchase it online, because it's already been discontinued. I can say that performance-wise, this is a beast mode type of fragrance. At least on my skin and in the hot climate, it performs very well, because when I, apply it on my skin and together with something else, on the other hand, all I can smell is only Deliria, because it's very diffusing type of fragrance. So it spreads in the air easily, so very nice one. The next fragrance will be also from L'Artisan Parfumeur. I have two fragrances today. It's called Noir Exquis, and this is also an amazing fragrance, if I'm not mistaken. It's also made by Bertrand de Chauffour, and this is so yummy, so tasty, so mouth-watering. This is the mixture of chestnuts with maple syrup, with coffee, and it's just a tiny bit smoky. Probably that's why people compare it to the By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. However, I think this is probably more interesting than Maison Margiela, because that one has designer's quality, I would say. This one is definitely niche. It is so pleasant, it is so warming up. It's like if you're sitting, definitely like sitting by the fireplace and reading a book and eating and drinking some very yummy, I don't know, coffee with roasted chestnuts. It definitely gives the vibes of the roasted chestnuts. Yes, I can realize that probably this fragrance has more the Christmas vibes, but I think it can be also perfectly suitable for fall weather, because it gives you that calm and cozy vibes that you need. So highly recommend. It has a very good performance, by the way. I noticed that not all L'Artisan Parfumeurs are long-lasting. Some of them are quite airy and quite light, and they don't last long. However, this is not something that can, you know, affect my decision to purchase or not to purchase the fragrance if I like it a lot. However, this one, just be aware, it's quite, you know, a performer. So I can't see this fragrance for office, because it's too cozy, it's too relaxing. I think it's very good to wear on the weekends. Like, I can easily imagine this on men as well. So I think this is total unisex, and I highly recommend you, if you are a man, have a look at this one. It's very good. Another fragrance that I think can be a perfect fragrance for fall and for men as well as women is Café Tuberosa by Atelier Cologne. And why I think being a floral fragrance, this at the same time for me is very unisex, because it has the vibes of I can smell the background is like the cigarette smoke. It has some cigarette aspect, definitely. It's not the fragrance of coffee, but this fragrance, the notes says that it has coffee mixed with, I think, rose and tuberose. For me, first of all, this fragrance is about the cafe. Yeah, it definitely is a cafe, and it is quite an old and vintage type of cafe. It has vintage furniture, and people used to smoke there, definitely, because it's you know, absorbed all the smoke from the cigarettes, and people used to drink coffee there, definitely. Coffee, latte, cappuccino, and it has that vibes. So I wouldn't say that the fragrance is retro, not at all. It smells a bit, for me, like Intense Cafe by Montal, or like Delex by Tiziana Terenzi. By the way, I have it with me here. It has definitely similar vibes. However, I would say this is more niche, because it has that vintage furniture and cigarette smoke vibes. I would say this is more on the niche side. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Highly recommend to try. I love it. However, I think 30 ml is enough for me, because I have Delex by Tiziana Terenzi, the one that I've already mentioned, and this one is pretty much like Intense Cafe by Montal. However, the musk here is not that loud, because I avoid Montal fragrances because I don't like the very prominent musk note there. But this one is very similar to Intense Cafe without that screaming musk. However, it's still very long lasting, and I like the combination of rose and coffee here. It's very, very sweet, definitely sweet, rosy coffee. It has lactonic notes as well, but I would say this is a sweet, jammy rose mixed with coffee. This is how I would describe this fragrance. Very yummy, very sweet, and I think that's the kind of fragrance that people will like around you, because it's very, you know, it has a good projection, has sillage, it has everything. Like, come on, this is Tiziana Terenzi. So, nice one. Another fragrance that I want to talk is a discontinued one, but this is a gem. This is a treasure, and this one is Essence Absolue Alien Mugler. It's Mugler Alien Essence Absolue. So this one is an alien mixed with loads and loads of vanilla and cream, because I can smell here that the vanilla here is very creamy to me. And if you like Alien, and if it's your signature scent, but you're looking for something more warming and with lots and lots of very natural smelling, deep, rich, thick vanilla, highly recommend you to try this one. You will not be able to try, well actually maybe if you find the decant, but you can still find this online. However, I'm afraid it's not that affordable anymore because it's discontinued, and the fragrance itself is, oh, it's so beautiful and rich. It is so comforting, it is so feminine, and very yummy and sweet, because vanilla here is like natural vanilla. It smells very naturally. Amazing fragrance, and again, this is a gem. I love it. The next fragrance is something that I used for New Year Eve. This is Lune Filine by Atelier Des Ors, and you know, it has a very festive look. That's why I think it's a perfect fragrance for New Year. It's very gourmand, it's very sweet, it has lots and lots of vanilla, but at the same time it has very prominent smoke. Like it's like if you're sitting somewhere by the fireplace and you can smell the smoke. It's very warm, comfortable, at the same time it has some festive mood and look at the same time. It has, I would say it's from the same family as Noir Exquis by L'Artisan Parfumeur. However, the Noir Exquis has a prominent coffee accord. For me, this one doesn't. This one I think has cardamom, it has pink pepper if I'm not mistaken. So I would say altogether this one for me smells like a very sweet, dark, rich, smoky vanilla. If I could give a name to this fragrance, I would call it dark vanilla or black vanilla or vanilla nero or something like that. So very good quality, but I wouldn't suggest to buy this blindly because, again, because of the smoke. It's very, very dark to my taste. And by the way, the Lune Filine, I think it's a perfect fragrance for men as well, so it's totally unisex. The next fragrance is about rose, and it's from Lancome, and this is Roses Berberanza. A very beautiful bottle, and the fragrance is a mixture of rose, very jammy, sweet, syrupy, sticky rose, mixed with lots of nuts, spices like saffron, and I can also smell here the raspberry. So it has a bit of tartness, but at the same time it has lots and lots of sweetness, and it's very, very nutty. And nuts here, they are fried nuts. Like I can smell the fried hazelnut here, definitely, and it has lots of pistachios, especially in the start. It's like a pistachio bomb. So if you don't like pistachio in fragrances, this is not for you. It is a very bold type of fragrance. I would say quite loud, and look at the color of the juice. Wow. So I would recommend you, if you like some Middle Eastern sweets like Rahat Lokum, like Turkish delights type of sweets. If you like a very, very sticky, sweet, jammy, rosy Orientals, I would say, because this fragrance is made by Juliette Rasconet, and he's a big fan of Oriental fragrances. He's a French perfumer, however, he lives between Dubai and France and Paris, and he is a big fan of Oriental fragrances, and you can feel it when you smell this. You can feel that he's a fan of Orientals, because this one has lots of Oriental vibes. The next fragrance is from Tom Ford, and this is men's fragrance. This one is Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I love this fragrance. I prefer the men's version because I find it more gourmand. And I like the kulfi note here. The kulfi is the Indian ice cream. It's very yummy. It has lots of saffron. It has some pistachios. And this fragrance, it's very sweet and very yummy. And at the same time, it has a class. I would say it's a classy type of fragrance, like many fragrances by Tom Ford. So it doesn't last long, I must admit. It has an average performance. However, again, for men or women, if you like the very classy, rich Oriental. Not Oriental. I would say it's not Oriental. It has some Oriental vibes because of this kulfi, very prominent kulfi note. If you like that type of gourmand evening fragrances, because I would say this is because of the classy character, because it's a classy fragrance, I can imagine this fragrance mostly on the evening when you go out, and I use it in the evening, and my husband does when we go out to the restaurant somewhere. The next fragrance is from Atkinsons, and this is my first fragrance from this brand. It's called The Other Side of Oud, and this is the release of 2019. Like, this is a new fragrance, and though this has the oud word in the name, it has nothing to do with the oud. I would say this is the mixture of coffee, cardamom, sweet notes like vanilla, tonka beans, and a bit of woody notes on the base. I don't smell any oud here at all. It's a very luxurious and classy type of fragrance, and definitely because of the bottle, and the bottle is this golden color, it requires some nice outfit. Like, I can't wear this with a t-shirt. It's, I think, more for the going out type of fragrance for both men and women, and I would think probably men will like this more than women because of the very strong coffee accord. But I adore coffee, and I'm wearing this as well, mostly at home for myself because I like the mixture of coffee and cardamom. However, I can easily imagine this on men, and men definitely will like it. So again, if you don't like oud, don't be afraid of this fragrance. It has nothing to do with oud. I would say it's more woody, coffee, cardamom, sweet, vanilla, tonka, very gourmand, but at the same time very classy type of fragrance. I would compare, in terms of classiness, I would compare it with Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. And another classy fragrance, which is also about coffee and cardamom, mostly for me, is from Kilian. This is by Kilian Intoxicated. I think this is one of the best by Kilian fragrances that I've smelled, and oh my god, I love this fragrance. I loved it from the first sniff when I smelled it in the Sephora, and I think it's definitely intoxicated, and it's so sexy. I can imagine this on men, because I think men will prefer this more than women. This is freshly roasted coffee with cardamom. That we used to have a roastery on the ground floor of our building, and I used to purchase freshly roasted coffee with cardamom there, and it was amazing. The smell was mesmerizing. It was gorgeous, and this one definitely has that vibe, but it's like in a perfume. It's very beautiful. It's very long lasting. It has an amazing, decent performance. So if you are a man and you like coffee, cardamom, vanilla, tonka beans also, probably I would say this one, to me, this is more gourmand than the other side of oud. They are quite similar to my taste. I saw they are compared in Fragrantica, like Intoxicated is probably on the 7th place. It's been compared to. However, I can feel the similarities in two of these fragrances. I would say they are quite similar. The Other Side of Oud by Atkinsons is compared to Follow by Kerosene. But again, I think it's more similar to by Kilian Intoxicated, to my nose. Next fragrance that also has coffee note, and I can easily imagine it on men, both men and women, but I think men will like this fragrance more than women, is Fidelis by Histoires, the Parfum, and this is edition rare. This fragrance, it has lots of oud. The Other Side of Oud by Atkinsons has the oud word, but doesn't have any oud at all. But this one doesn't have any oud words in the name. However, it has lots of oud. It has lots of fried spices. It's a bit nutty, and I would say It has some coffee accord somewhere in the background. It's not that prominent. I would say the main accords here are oud, spices, rose, nutty notes. And I would say this fragrance is quite similar with this fragrance. And I know why. I'll tell you why. Because both of them were made by the same perfumer, Julien Rasconet, and both of them are quite oriental. Both of them are very bold. This one is extra loud, like beast mode type of fragrance, and but at the same time it's very beautiful and high quality, I would say. If you like oriental, woody, spicy fragrances with a bit of coffee notes on the background, it also has some rose, and rose here is a bit tart, it's a bit sour, it's a bit balsamic. So I highly suggest to try this one. I think this is a limited edition, but you can purchase it online for a very decent price. So I did, and amazing fragrance. Amazing, I love it a lot. The next fragrance is from Trussardi, and this is Trussardi's private line, like a boutique line. It's called Passeggiato. Well, it has quite a long name, however, I call it in short Passeggiato. It's a red matte bottle, a beautiful one, very heavy one, and a heavy lid. This one is a hazelnut bomb. I would say this is a hazelnut, cream, coffee, vanilla. For me, it smells like a very yummy beverage, coffee beverage, mixed with cream and hazelnut syrup. It's very yummy. It's not intelligent gourmand, though it has some floral notes in the background. I would say still it's a straightaway gourmand, eat me type of fragrance. For me, this is like again a very yummy and edible type of fragrance that I mostly see on women rather than men. I can't imagine men wearing a fragrance like this because it's very soft, it's very fluffy. I would say soft and fluffy. I purchased this after I tested it in a shop, in a store. I liked it. I liked it on a blotter. I liked it a lot. It was a very long-lasting and very cozy fragrance, very comforting type of fragrance. But again, high quality, very yummy, very attractive, sexy, I would say, edible type of gourmand. If you like hazelnuts, if you like creamy notes, if you like coffee notes, a bit of chocolate, I would say. I can smell even there some florals in the background. Amazing, amazing fragrance. The next one is from Arabic brand, from the local brand, from Al Haramain. This one is Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. This one, look how much I used already. For me, this one is like sour cherry mixed with cinnamon and lots of vanilla, other spices, a bit pepper, but very beautiful fragrance. It's normally compared to like ISO, that people compare it to Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. I would say they are quite similar, but I prefer this one. I think it's more dimensional, it has more facets, it's longer lasting, by the way. This one has a beast mode performance, and I, by the way, like the packaging. I like the bottle, it's quite heavy. The quality of glass is very good. This one, the plate here, it's made of metal, it's metallic, and the cap is also the lid made of metal. And the quality of the juice itself is the highest possible, I would say. I can't smell anything synthetic about this fragrance. It's very naturally smells very naturally, and I like the sour cherry and cinnamon mix here with some vanilla, tonka spices. It has some dry fruits also here, I can smell it. And in terms of performance, this is an amazing fragrance. It's very long lasting and it has a beautiful, beautiful long trail. And the last but not least for today is from Amouage, and this is Journey. Beautiful red metallic bottle. And I love this fragrance. It is a beautiful, beautiful mixture of honey, dried fruits like dried apricots, with some probably white tobacco or suede type of accord. This is an Intelligence Gourmand. It's not straight away edible, however it's very sweet and very comforting, and an amazing quality of perfume. It is so sweet. The honey here is so beautiful. Amazing honey accord here. I love it, and it is very sunny. It is very uplifting. It's not a fragrance for summer, however it gives you associations with the sun, but I think this is more for fall, because this fragrance is definitely yellow, orange, red, ambery type of color, which gives me the associations with fall, with autumn, and I think it's a perfect comforting fragrance for autumn and for fall. Very sweet, amazing, just amazing. Highly recommend you to try. It's available everywhere in the stores. You can try it, no need to purchase it blindly. So I love it. It's quite long lasting one also. It has a good projection, like arm length. It doesn't have any long sillage, but it's more than enough for me, for sure. So that's it for today. I hope you liked my today's list. It was quite a big one. I had 20 fragrances today for you. So if you enjoyed them, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and press that notification bell not to miss next videos. I also invite you to visit my Instagram page and subscribe if you like the content, and I hope to see you in my next videos, everyone. Bye!